have something to tell you guys. I don't know what happened. Maybe the generation evolved. Usually back then, this is the list of questions. Oh, Michi, it's been so long. So, have you met anyone special? Anyone you like? Are you dating someone? When you dating? When you get married? Like that, right? No.
You got scared.
That is not how the conversation went this time. It literally went, oh, Michi, how's life? When are you going to give me a grandchild? Skip it. Skip dating. Skip married. Just get pregnant. Just spawn a child. Fuck you. Like, what happened? Slowly. Hey, there is 3 steps to this. You skipping such a big jump. You know, it's like climbing a ladder and then you take an escalator. What is wrong with you? Hello? So he just went, when are you giving me a grandchild? You know, all your cousins, they have grandchild now. I want to see. You are so pretty. Your child would be so pretty. I want to see a female grandchild with your face. Very pretty. When?
They gave up on waiting for you to have a Riz.
I need to have risk to get pregnant, Lawat. So, give grandchild now. Alright, slow down there, chat. You can't just Bluetooth me your dreams
They know
now,
you
can
won't
you?
get laid, so they just skip steps.
It's honestly so sad. They want specifically a female grandchild for me. They called me pretty, but I think it's a lie. I think they're desperate. Okay, to be fair, in my family, no one's really like married, dating. Not even my brother. No, like we are the most. Our family blood dies with us. Like I've made this joke with my brother all the time, where it's like we're fucked. All right, like everyone in our family, they can procreate. I don't know, but my family, our bloodlines dies with us. I can't get laid. He doesn't want to get laid. So we're fucked. We are actually so fucked. We have this thing where if you get married, right? Let me tell you a funny story, chat. So in my culture, if you're a guy and you get married, your family then keeps the family name of the man. So I am a woman, sadly, but I do have a male brother. So if I were to get married, I will lose the family name. But if my brother gets married, he keeps the family name. And that's how you continue the family legacy, right? So here's the fun fact. I'll tell you how sad this family is gonna be. My dad told me, Michi, if you ever get married, please try and fight for the family name. Because my brother never ever getting married. Like, I know some people heard my brother's voice and they're like, oh my god, is your brother single? No, bro. My brother does not care for love. Like, he has never been in a relationship. Never want to be in a relationship. Like, the difference is, he don't want it. I do. He don't want. Like, he doesn't want anything like that. He wants to focus on his career. Because he's always wanted to be a doctor. You know? He's like, being a doctor is hard work and you need to be there for like most of the day. No time for family. So he's never really wanted to look for that shit. It's really cool though. My brother's doing like volunteer work now.
He's
which
single
is really
by
nice.
his choice. You're single by everyone else's choice on.
How are we gonna... can someone time out my mod? Can someone unmod Sarah? But Sarah! People chat, you know, they 180 so fast. They find someone else and they just shit on you. Like, that's just how life is. Vindictive, I tell you. Whew. Point is, my dad told me I should fight for the family name because if it's not me, it's no one.
Where
Like,
he
we're
is
cooked.
right.
So we're cooked. My family name dies with me and my brother. I don't know what else to tell you. Chat, sit back, relax, grab yourself a cup of warm tea because I'm spilling it. I've never realized this, but shit, I'm gonna sound like an egotistical maniac. I'm so sorry, but it's essential to the story. So, for the past 8 months since I joined vshojo, I ain't gonna lie, my life situation has gotten so much better because of chat. And I've never once thought like, holy shit, my money, I'm rich, I'm blah, blah, blah. Because my money is chat's money, and it's because chat is nice enough to give me money. So I always see it as like, oh wow, we collected this much money.
Thanks,
Let's see what we can do,
for the
right?
3 resub.
So during this trip, I realized something. So the conversation of like, what do you do for a living gets brought up. And I'm not gonna fucking tell them I'm a VTuber. Fuck, hell no way. That's cringe as shit, right? Plus, what if they dox me because they don't know what the hell that is? Some of these people are like older, you know?
I heard chat, give money.
Stop! I told them I work on social media managing, which is a really nice thing that I've been selling to everyone. I'm a social media manager or I am a content creator manager. One of those. Something manager, right? And obviously, the topic of how much money do you make gets brought up. They're like, oh, is that like a good job? Is that like a decent job? Or what is that? Because not a lot of people do that, I guess. Maybe? So they asked me, right? And here is the put into perspective, a lot of them are either like quote-unquote self-made entrepreneurs. Why did I say quote-unquote? I don't really know the like business owners of like small stores, or they work for an office. The actual normal human jobs. You know? So the moment they hear that I'm a social media person, obviously they ask like, oh, how is the job and how much do you make? So I tell them how the job is. I'm like, oh, it's a really nice job.
Tell
actually.
the truth. We know you're
No.
ashamed of us, Sag.
Honestly, if my family knows what I do and they see chat and chats like this, you are the least shameful thing on screen. I'ma be so real with you, chat. But I told them like, oh, the job's good. You know what I mean? Like,
Just
I'm
do
not
it.
telling them
Tell
my
them you
money.
work for Amazon. I mean, it's not wrong.
I work for Amazon. Real. And I actually I work for Twitter. That's true too. I tell them like, oh, the job's really nice and it's really comfy. You know, it's really good. And they're like, what do you do as a social media person manager? I'm like, so I sit here on my computer and I type in stuff and I log in stuff. I'm so shit at lying. Like, I felt really bad lying to them, but I have to. This is how I say it, okay? I work for an American company, and what I do is I log in trends and information on the internet, and I relay it to respective parties. I also sign an NDA. That is how I say it. It's technically not wrong. I do that. I fucking go on stream and I tell chat stuff. So, like, it's the same thing, you know? And then I go on Twitter and I go like, oh my god, this person's canceled. Okay. And then I talk on stream about nothing to do with that. So, am I lying? Not completely. The moment they hear that I work for an American company, now they're hammering in. You know, they're like, how much do you make? Right? They're like, At first, it wasn't as like intense. In the first couple of hours, it was like light conversation and everything. And then as we're talking about jobs and shit, they were so nice. Like, a good chunk of them were really sweet. Some, like, there are like small few tiny amount, but some, they were like, how much money do you make? Because you're working for like a foreign company. What company? Where? Like, what? You do this? Like, what's your working hours like? And I was like, oh, I usually work for like the normal working hours, you know, like 10 hours a day. Normal, like I clock in the morning, leave at night, all the good stuff. And they're like, oh, how much do you make? Blah, blah. Here's the little hiccup. I never talked about my money. I don't. The only people that knows how much money I've made are my parents. Because hear me out, okay? My parents have very little things to be very happy about. And every month when they see money, they're like, wow, you know what? My kid is not a fucking bum. And this is nice. So I tell my parents, they're the only people in my massive family that knows the amount of money I do make, etc. Right? It's like taboo, you know what I mean? And like, I don't want to start. It's complicated. If I tell people it's like, oh, this is the amount of money I make, that's not true. Like, that is actually not true. Like, I am just a fancy beggar online. That's it. So I don't want to tell people. Plus, it's weird. And for what? You know, like, for what am I telling people how much money I make? It's just odd. But for my parents, they want to know it, and they're my parents. I can't say no. The whole time, as they're asking me how much money I made, my dad overheard it. Here's where it gets a bit meshy, right? We had two big tables. One is for like the younger folks, one is for the older folks, but they're very close together. My dad is in the older folk table, and I'm on the younger folk table. My dad overheard it and turned around to our table and was like, oh, did you know? Michi paid for this whole trip. There's the thing. I did get myself a hotel room, but I decided to stay with my grandparents for the trip because I missed them, right? I missed them a lot, so I ended up not using the hotel room as much. I stayed there for like one night, that's it. So my dad was like, oh, did you know? Michi paid for the whole trip. The transport, the hotel rooms. She even got a hotel room for herself. Yep, and she isn't even staying in it. Like, you don't get it. In this culture, if you have enough money to get a hotel room and not use it, that means you have expendable cash. Like, expendable cash. And now, they're like, what? What kind of trip? And my dad's like, yeah, she rented this place. She rented this. She did this. Back at home, every time we go out and eat, she pays for it. Like, she covers everything. Here's the thing. I don't tell people that. I don't think I've even told chat. But like, as a kid, growing up, I've always wanted to take care of my parents. So this is something I do privately. Because that's something I've wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go like, guys, actually, I take care of my parents. And I don't do that, right? I just do it. And my dad used to be like, oh yeah, she pays for this. She pays for that. You know granddad's treatment? She's paying for that too. You know the medicine? She paid for that. You
And
got scammed. I get it. My dad was like proud, right? Here's the thing. With my granddad's treatment, I paid for it, but I told them that it came from my parents because it just seems like more appropriate, right? Like if you're a granddad and your kid pays for your like health stuff, that's more acceptable compared to like your grandchildren paying for it. So I told them, I was like, oh no, this is from my parents. Like, here you go, here are your medicine. This is from my parents. I didn't tell anyone, but my dad was telling the whole table. It's like, she paid for this, she paid for that. And now, you know, as he's saying this, right, the bills are racking up. Like, they can see the fucking visual numbers in the air, you know? And it's totaling up. And I was like, oh yeah, like we even got like tickets to come here, but we haven't paid for the tickets back yet because we don't know when we're actually going back because it's up to her. Blah, 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 blah. Because she's like everything. And then, oh shit. There are other things that I've bought my parents. Little things, you know, like little like keepsake things. There's more. Okay, I will say this to you, Dad. I'm so sorry, but like, I never told Chad this because I felt so bad. But a while ago, it was my dad's birthday, and he means a lot to me. I love my dad a lot, right? Even though he was quite absent when I was young, it was to take care of us. You know, we were fucking broke at that time, and my dad sacrificed a lot to take care of me, so that meant a lot. On my dad's birthday, I bought
Thanks
him
Pandora 2132 for the one resub.
To be fair, it was Chat. Chat bought my dad this gift. Thank you, thank you, Chat. It was gold. Like, it was a good amount. It's an investment, and I buy things that appreciates in price over time. Because listen, man, I ain't spending my money. That's like in 10 years, that shit's gonna be worth nothing. You know, so I bought him like a block. I'm not telling you how much, but it's a good amount of gold as a gift. For the first time ever in my life. I've never bought like gold before, but I even got a certificate. It felt so cool. They put it in a box, and it was like fucking laminated, and I got like a piece of paper saying like, it's real. Gave it to my dad and everything. At that time, he didn't look very like surprised. He was like, oh, what the hell? Thank you for the 999 grams. Hell no. Less than 500. All right, less than 500, but yeah, less
Girly,
than...
I'd be mad if you didn't buy your parents a gift. Also, Michi Dad is based for outing Secret Agent Michi and her Cuba Awards nominee kind of money.
No, that was like actually like part of my savings too. I've been saving up, like you don't get it, Chat, for years now. I've been saving up to buy something for my parents that would be an investment to double as a cool gift. For the past 8 months,
How
you just
the
make
fuck
the
can you
savings
buy
go
gold
faster. You know what I mean?
Yet?
One thing that Asians love, on top of expensive things, are things that get more expensive the more you hold it. So I'm talking house and gold and very strong foreign currency. That's it. If it doesn't appreciate in price, they think you're fucking stupid. I was nervous. This was my first time ever spending that much money. And my dad was like, oh, did you know? On my birthday, Michi bought me gold. You know how much? A lot. Yup. Look at this picture. I even took a picture of the gold. Look at this. I am very happy that my dad loved my gift. But he whipped out his fucking BlackBerry, right? This son of a bitch brought up his BlackBerry and showed a picture of him holding the gold I bought him as a gift. He was like smiling with it. And he's like, look, you bought this for me. You paid for all of this shit. Crazy. Now they're like, Dad, how much are you making, girl? As a social media manager? How the fuck you be making? Now my dad... Now here's the thing. It's not even true. I first debuted, right? Back then, 8 months ago or some months ago. When I first debuted, I got crazy big money bucks. Do I make the same amount now? No. No, I do not. My dad brought up the amount of money I earned. That's a crap ton of money. He brought up specifically the debut numbers. Oh, I'm sweating balls right there. Like, I was sitting down. I was like, that's not true. That's not true. I don't make that much anymore. I was like, shit. Yeah, that's the issue, right? My dad's giving like figures right there. My dad is he's very proud and a little bit competitive, right? We have some like family beef stretching from years and years and years ago. So I get where he's coming from. Do y'all want to know a tidbit of the beef? Just this family's a bit complicated, but I love them. But of course, we have some complications. Way back when I was like a wee old bean. When my family was poor, we were like the poorest, you know, in the big family. Quote unquote. Like, yeah, actually, yeah, no, we were the poorest in the big family at that time. So at that time, Chat, everyone else had more wealth than my family. when the big family meets up, some of them would take like low jabs family, you know, like not in a mean way, but like passive aggressive, you know, like wow, this house is like enough to fit like my storage, you know what I mean? Like it's not like ha ha ha, it's like a joke, but the joke is kind of like on us, you know. So as a guy, right, hearing that from like my dad, it's true, like we were the poorest, but as a guy that hits your ego, right? My dad was a hard worker, like he works hard. Economy shit, but he's a hard worker. So hearing comments like that, like sarcasm, it does start to like nyeh you off. So that was like TLDR of back then family beef, you know? Especially since they were also quite young at that time. As people are making money, they insult you a little bit, right? As a joke. But they make you into the butt of the joke. I didn't fucking care about it. My dad did. So now you understand why my dad was like eager. Like that's why I said I get it. So now that I'm making money, my dad is like, oh, you know what my kid doing? My kid making bank. And the other kid, he a doctor. He wants to be proud of it. Kind of proving his haters wrong or some shit. Like, he kept that. You don't understand where my grudge-keeping abilities come from. Now you do. I will say, and I'm not trying to be ego or anything, okay? I'm not trying to, like, show off. I do make more than my family. Even my uncles and aunts. So my dad was super eager to talk about it, like super fucking eager. And he decided to give the debut numbers. Like, you know how much my daughter makes? Boom! Debut numbers. Fuck. Low-key, there were more family tea. There was a time in my life where they would, like, I took fashion as a major, right? If you're in Asia and you took art as a major, you just basically plastered failure on your forehead. And it sucks, but that's the truth. You know, it's like, oh, you're not doctor, scientist, president. Okay. Oh, this kid is just gonna fucking have a grim life, right? So when I was like going through that, my dad defended me a lot. Like people are like, oh, your kid's like taking fashion? And my dad's like, yeah, she loves fashion. She does really cool things. Look at the stuff she makes. And they're like, oh, who's buying that? And my dad's like, it's about the craft. Like, my dad is very traditional Asian. So the fact that he stands up for me means a lot, right? But a lot of my family members, they were a little bit of a doubter. True, I don't take fashion anymore. But I've always been more creative than I was smart, right? Whatever. That's what my dad says all the time. Copium. I'm not even creative. But like, my dad tells me I'm creative. Ooh, my dad was flexing a lot, a fuck ton. And then he brings up, oh, you know what her office does? You know what her office in the America does for her? They give her like therapy. Yup, free therapy. And you know what she does for jobs? Sometimes she doesn't even have to work. If she doesn't want to work, she don't have to work. If she want to work, she work. There is no one tell her, you wake up at 7 a.m., commute, and working, and then go back. No. Up to her. Everything. Job hour up to her. Doing what? Up to her. Everything up to her. And she do it at home. So she doesn't need to like drive or anything. No need. No need to commute. Just wake up. Tuk, 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 in front of computer. So like, easy, you know? You wake up. Not do anything hard. Work up to her to do. Doing whatever. And she gets free therapy. Free everything. And here's the thing. So we get packages, right? Like vshojo, whenever we get like merch stuff, vshojo would send us like presents, like the merch that we're releasing. That's just what it's literally a PR package. You know what I mean? Like we get PR packages, right? But my dad, oh, he fucking creative. He a bit different. He didn't say, oh, my kid gets PR packages. Nuh-uh. You know what he says, chat? He says, my kid gets sent stuff for free from abroad. Big boxes. Free things. Every time. From her boss. Her boss give her present. A lot present. Some limited edition. Yeah, limited edition. Because all of our merch is limited drop. So every single PR package I get is limited edition. But it's the merch. It's of me. Why? Like, you know, we get everything free. And then therapy free. And then if you want to go America, they will help. Everything free. And then I told my parents this. It's not completely true, but Gunrun's a very cool guy for telling me this as well. So I have, you know me, I get a bit paranoid. I told them, I was like, I want to go to TwitchCon, but I also am scared to be alone. You know, like, I'm scared to be alone, and like, what if something happens and I don't know what to do? And Gunrun was like, listen, worst case, we'll always have someone there. Like, it's either the staff, us, there will be like a bodyguard of some sort to make sure that you're not gonna get like harassed, right? Because it's TwitchCon. And I told my parents that because at that time I was trying to convince my parents to be like, hey, I'm thinking of going to America. And my dad's like, no, you're gonna get murdered. And I'm like, no, we have a bodyguard. It's the context of the conversation. My dad ignored everything I said, took the bodyguard part, right? And the way he worded it was, if she go to America, our boss will give her a bodyguard. Hey, I didn't say will. Who the fuck are you, Gunrun? No, you are not. What are you talking about? The context was because you were scared I will die. So Gunrun said, yeah, sure, there will be someone there. Hey, so he was flexing like back to back, you know what I mean? Like money, therapy, facilities, tickets and everything. Paid, bodyguard, for free. Like, who the fuck am I? Taylor Swift? No. So now,
nothing your father has so far is a lie. Technically correct, the best kind of correct.
It's so exaggerated. The way he worded it made me sound like a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, now, there is a disconnect.
He has selective hearing just like his daughter.
There is a disconnect because I've been telling them, oh no, I'm just a social media manager. That's all I've been telling them. And now my dad decided to tell them that I am basically a celebrity, which is also not true. Okay, so now my family's like,
I mean, you are a celebrity.
No, that's not the same. It's not the same. It's different. No one knows me. I'm like tiny. So they're like, what are you, like an influencer? Now I'm cool. Because one of them was like, are you an influencer? And I'm like, oh, shit. No, not. I work with influencers sometime. True. Also not true. There's a lot of things going on there.
Well, 150k people know you.
Yeah, I was like, NDA. Haha. Either way, it do be that way. Now they're asking how much money, etc. The moment the topic of money came up, and now they know how much money I made, past tense, I don't make that much anymore. Some of them, I realized, got a little cold toward a little bit. Which is a bit
Thanks,
weird.
Neo.
At first I was awkwardified, but then I tried to have like a conversation with them, and I'm like, oh, either way, some of my like family members I feel were a bit cold. Like they were so warm, you know what I mean? They were like I'd be like, oh my god, relatable, haha, and we'd laugh, or be like, oh, let's visit these places we used to go to as like kids that are like, it's on the cheaper end, but it's still good. And then after the conversation, I try to do stuff like that, and they just
Michi is my favorite
don't.
celebrity and formerly award-winning person. Shh.
You mean I never won anything? Like, crazy. Yeah, I felt some people were a bit cold. Like they dismissed the conversation very fast. Some of them even went like, you don't like gak kelas lagi gitu loh, kayak apa ya? Like I'd be like, oh, let's go to the restaurant, like a street vendor after this, and they're like, are you sure that's like of your standard? Like that didn't get brought up earlier, and now they're saying stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do I look like I'm like, every morning my private chef cooks me a meal? No, I eat takeout from the same damn place that is on the side of the road. Like, what do you mean? It's not like mean. They're not mad. Or you can't see that they're mad, but you can feel it. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a weird like, okay, now the conversation's getting a bit awkward, and they cut the conversation short a little bit. Not all, just some. And I was kind of a little like, oh, this is so awkward. A little awkward. But I do have one person there that tried to like ask a lot of stuff, right? So they were like, oh, so you work with influencers? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, how do you make money as that? You know, whatever you're doing. I was like, oh, sometimes you get like brand deals, like sponsors, right? And that's one way to make money. You sort them out. So this person is trying to start stuff up. I keep saying this to people. I can't help.
Just
like, I
let
feel
them
bad,
know they
but
can
I can't.
still make fun of you for all the other ways you're a girl failure.
That's the thing. Like some of them are still chill with it, but some of them are very like not as chill. I get it. The conversation of money is always very awkward. But every time there's a family member, they hear how much money I make. They hear social media and they're like, oh, that must be easy. Help me do what you do. You know what I mean? And I can't. Like, I literally cannot. Because, listen, I love you as family. But what I do is different. Because I'm not jeopardizing my shit for your shit. And I don't even know if you want to do the shit you want to do. So, no. But I will support you at the sidelines. I'll be like, oh, I'll give you tips. But I'm not gonna, like, do shit on your behalf, right? So some of, like, I feel like some of them were trying to hint. I don't know how to explain it without, like, doxing anything. But it's a clear hint that they want me to give, like, free sponsorship for them to an influencer friend, if that makes sense, to kind of like boost whatever they're doing. And I have to be like, oh, I still work in the company, so I'll have to ask, blah blah blah. But the conversation is either that or no conversation at all. It was a little bit like you know, like I'm not trying to be like, oh, I am above you. Not like that at all. It's just like you can feel it, and it get a little awkward. But there are some that were just happy for me, which is nice. I focus on the happy for me part.